Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is my video entry to Double Shot J's 100 subs contest. First of all, congratulations on your 100 subs. I believe you have 108 subs. You have about 76 videos, and congrats again on 100, getting over 100 subs and doing this contest. Like I said before in my other videos, I love when people give back to the YouTube movie collecting community, and you having this contest is great. So thank you, and you're giving away, I believe, 2 DVDs, Psycho 2 DVD, which is a good movie. I saw that movie. And Happy Birthday to Me, which I believe I did see, I think, years ago. Okay, I'm not sure about that now. And Hatchet on Blu-ray, and Hatchet Part 2 on Blu-ray, which I've never seen, but I've heard great things about it. So thank you for giving away. And you said there might be another prize, another Blu-ray, or something that you ordered that you didn't get yet. But anyway, that's more than enough, and you're going to have one winner for your contest. And again, I'll leave a link down to your channel down below so people can sub to you and watch your videos. And again, thank you for having this contest and giving back to the YouTube movie collecting community. And thank you for entering my contest. I had my almost 1,000 subs contest a couple of weeks back, and you entered. And thank you for participating in that. I appreciate it, and I will be having 1,000 subs contest eventually. Anyway, back to your contest. The question you asked is a good question. What 2 horror movies would you like a sequel to, and why? Okay. I have 2 choices, and I'm trying not to get too complicated with this, but okay. This movie, Let the Right One In, which is I think I don't know if it's French or Italian, I forget but I remember seeing this, loving this about the young I guess preteen boy who gets bullied and he becomes friends with a vampire, and then they did an American remake, of course, Let Me In by the director of Cloverfield, which is really really good, and I really like this. In this one case, where the remake was good, it wasn't that horrible. I know a lot of people say they think this is better than this, and I think maybe it is, but this one was a worthy remake. Actually, this is a remake that was actually pretty good. Let Me In, and I would like to see a sequel to this, just to see maybe the further adventures of the boy and his female vampire, where they're going to and how they basically survive and stuff. I would like to see that because Chloe Grace Moretz is just a tremendous actor, and everybody in this movie actually was pretty good. Cody Smith McPhee, the young boy who got bullied, he was excellent, and Richard Jenkins, of course, as the vampire's protector, he was great in this movie, and I definitely would like to maybe see a sequel. Like I said, I know Chloe Grace Moretz is probably, she's grown up, and which you may have a little problem, but I'm sure with makeup or something and make her still look younger. Anyway, and then Cody Smith McPhee, the young boy, just to see where they are and stuff and how they're surviving and stuff. I think it'd be a good sequel just to see where they are and stuff. Now, even though I did love the ending of this, the way it ended with them getting away and being, and them being happy. Okay. Now the other sequel horror movie that I want to see a sequel to is kind of old school. Okay. A few years back, not a few years back, a couple of years back, probably more than that. Universal came out with a horror collection. Where they did I did this in a video. I did an opening of this in one of my videos of the monster collection, Universal Horror Movie. They put all on DVD the old classic monsters. There's Frankenstein, of course, and Dracula, and of course the Forever Cursed Wolfman. Now the sequel that I want to see would be the second sequel to the movie. The original movie that I want to see a sequel to was The House of Frankenstein. Okay, that was, like I said, a movie where you have 5 supposed monsters, quote unquote. You have the Frankenstein monster, you have the Dracula, the Wolfman, the evil scientist, and the Hunchback. Okay, they all came together in one movie. Okay, basically, Dracula gets revived by this mad scientist and his Hunchback assistant. Dracula gets revived. They find the Frankenstein monster's body and the Wolfman body. From the Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. They revive the Frankenstein monster, and they supposedly going to cure the Wolfman, but of course he winds up killing the gypsy, and he winds up getting killed. Of course, and the Frankenstein monster and the scientist sink into the quicksand. And of course, they made a sequel to that called The House of Dracula, where well, they don't never really explain how Dracula survived after he got exposed to sunlight, but he's back in the House of Dracula. And also you have a scientist, and you have a female hunchback nurse in this one. And you have Lawrence Talbot coming to the scientist trying to find a cure for, being the Wolfman. And of course you have they find the Frankenstein monster who survived the quicksand. Okay, and then basically the movie ends with Dracula getting exposed, him trying to go after the female nurse, and he getting exposed to sunlight, so he's dead. And then of course the scientist gets infected with Dracula's evil blood, and he becomes evil, and he revives the Frankenstein monster. And of course he kills his hunchback nurse. Okay, he cures the Wolfman before that. Okay, but he winds up getting shot by the Wolfman, Lawrence Talbot, and the Frankenstein monster winds up getting supposedly burnt in a fire. And that's the way it goes off, with the Wolfman being the only survivor and him going off with his female nurse. Okay, so I would like a sequel to that movie, which would be, I guess, The House of Wolfman. I don't know if they ever even discussed making that, but at the time, but The House of the Wolfman. And this is how the basic story to me would unfold. It's a couple of months later. The Wolfman and Lawrence Talbot and his nurse has gotten married. And they decide, Lawrence Talbot, since he's alive, he inherits the fortune, and he decides to, on the ruins of this castle that the doctor lived in that burnt at the end of House of Dracula, he decides to rebuild it and make it a hospital. Make it a hospital to help, the disfigured and anybody else, that needs help. Of course, the town is prosperous, and they're so grateful for Lawrence Talbot for giving everybody jobs and stuff. Okay, and this is how this basic premise of the movie will begin. You have while they're doing construction on the burnt ruins, you see a hunchback worker comes to the site, and he tries to get a job, and of course they make fun of him, and they won't let him. They won't want to hire him, but Lawrence Talbot intervenes and said, "No, you hire him. This is the whole purpose of the hospital, to help those unfortunate," and they hire him. Okay, and then later in the day, you see him working. You see him working with a worker in the catacombs, and when they come upon the coffin of Count Dracula, who's just getting bones in there. Of course, the evil hunchback, kills his fellow worker and drips his blood in the coffin, which revives the Dracula, and Dracula's back alive. And then now, of course, him and the hunchback, they go off search through the catacombs, where they find the supposedly dead Frankenstein monster's body. Of course, remember, because he cannot die, the only way to kill him is to dissect him. Okay, so they take him, the weakened Frankenstein monster, Dracula, and the hunchback, and they steal a wagon, and they take him to a scientist who lives on the outskirts of town, and Dracula forces him to revive the monster. Okay, and of course, the hunchback tells Dracula that Lawrence Talbot has married the nurse who he tried to take as his bride in House of Dracula. And of course, now with the revived monster totally under Dracula's control, he sends him to Lawrence Talbot's house to kidnap the nurse. Of course, he does that. He kidnaps the nurse, and Lawrence Talbot tries to stop the monster, but of course the monster knocks him out, and he takes off with Lawrence Talbot's wife. And of course, Talbot comes to a couple of minutes later, and he tries to search. He's searching for his wife and the monster, of course, and he's of course under a lot of stress. And of course, then you see the full moon come out, and just when he thought he was cured, he's really not cured, and he changes into a Wolfman. And you can add your different theories to that after that. But I think that's a great start, a great idea for a sequel to House of Dracula. The first movie being House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, then we got House of the Wolfman. Okay, so I think that's just the basic premise for that story. So I'm working on some of the details, but that's my two horror movies that I want to see sequels to. Okay. Anyway, again, thank you, JP, for having this contest. And again, I'll leave a link to your channel down below. Okay, to your channel, and please sub to his channel. And thank you again for having this contest and giving back to the YouTube movie collecting community. Like I said, I love when people do that. And thank you very much. And you're giving away some great prizes. Okay, so thank you again. Okay, and this is Trade Pastor saying so long and take care.